Screencast 6. Setting default values for parameters and hiding parameters. Let's go back to Visual Studio and back to our project. This is our report library, and let's preview our design 1. And we'll see our problem. The cust group parameter always requires me to enter a value. Now in this Visual Studio session I can enter a value like star and it'll remember, but this only helps me in the session, number 1, and number 2, we want the end users not to always have to enter a value. Okay? Now how do we actually provide a default value? The answer is very simple. There's this parameters node here, and you'll see there are 2 parameters. AX company name and cust group. I've already explained how cust group appeared here from one of the previous screencasts, and that was its appearance is due to the fact that when I created the data set from an AX query, there was a range on the query for cust group, and the range was automatically translated into a parameter. AX company name is new. I have never discussed this before. This is a parameter that is internally used by the AX SSRS framework. You should basically ignore this. Ignore that it says company name. The point is that this parameter is an internal binding that our framework uses. Never touch this, never delete it, never do anything to it. Okay? Now, cust group, you can see its properties here on the right. And you can see that there is no default value set. Let's go ahead and set a default value of star. Or actually, let's do 10. And you'll see what happens when I preview the report now. First, 10 appears there. And when I click on the report to preview, only those with cust group 10 show up. Okay? Let's go back to the report. And now we'll set this just to star. Perfect. Go back to preview. And now this is set to 10 because that's what I typed in. Right? Let me just go ahead and type in, let me remove the preview. I'll just close nothing. I'll enter nothing and I'll close the preview. And I'll restart the preview. See? There's star. Okay. And then when we show the actual report, we can see all the cust groups there. Fantastic. So we've proven that it works in the VS preview experience. But that's not all. We really need to send this out to the report server. Now, if I go to Report Manager, I've cleaned out all the reports in Dynamics, so there's nothing here. Let's go ahead and previously I've been deploying by right-clicking here and saying deploy. I can also do from the solution and deploy everything. And again, we'll see deploy started. And it succeeded. We'll go back to Report Manager and let us refresh this. There's Auto Design 1. Let's click on there. And you can see, as soon as this renders, that cust group is now star. Right? And all the, as I'm going to the next page, you can see the other records that have different cust groups. So all of them are being displayed. Just waiting for it to render. Okay. There, we can see all the other ones. Let's verify the filtering works. Let's type in 90. And then click View Report. Okay, there. Only one record from Contoso, Europe. Okay, so that's how you enable a default parameter. One thing I should tell you is that occasionally I have seen with SSRS, especially SSRS from SQL 2008 R2, that sometimes I'll add a default value for parameter and it won't show up when I preview it in Report Manager. Okay, and so if you ever encounter this problem, it seems to be kind of a caching issue, and I've very rarely encountered it, but the solution is simply just delete the report from Report Manager and then redeploy it. And how you delete is you go to Report Manager, and let me refresh here, and you click here, and you can delete the design. Okay? So that is how to add a default value. The next thing that often comes up is how actually to prevent the user from even seeing the parameter. Because just like AX company name, perhaps this parameter is internal to your report, something necessary for the report to run, but not something you want the user to be able to control. So in this case, let's try that with cust group. We always want it to return the records for all cust groups, and we don't want the user to be able to filter. It's very simple. We're just going to set this to, there's a property here called visibility, right here, and we're going to set this, there's 3 options. For right now, we'll just set it to hidden. And later on, in a different screencast one day, I'll explain the difference between hidden and internal. So I'll say hidden, and I'll go ahead and just save everything, and I'll deploy the solution. Deploy succeeded. Go back to Report Manager, and let's verify. Yep, no more parameters. Okay? And then all the records are shown. And if I do the preview here, you'll of course see the parameters tab is there, but I wasn't forced to enter anything because it has a default value and it isn't visible, and there's nothing there. Okay? So now again, you can see how this preview experience tries to give you a sense of what's going to happen when you actually deploy the Report Manager. Okay? So that was it for this screencast. If you have any other things you'd like me to demonstrate or see, please let me know. Thanks.